Breath. It's the first thing we do when we come onto this planet, and the very last physical action we undertake while leaving this mortal body. What is life if not a chain of inhales and exhales strung together over months, years, and decades? It's the very essence of life. Without breath, there would be no life. While you may expect to last for around 3 weeks without a morsel of food, a few days without consuming a drop of water, when it comes to breath, one cannot last more than a few minutes without it. So, what is more important for human life than the beautifully invigorating process of breathing? Nothing. Absolutely nothing comes close to the profound role breath plays in the continuation of our lives in the physical realm. That is why ascended masters, enlightened yogis, and sacred ancient texts have emphasized the art of breathing so much. For centuries, they have talked about and taught the secrets of harnessing breath to acquire supernatural powers that can assist a human ascend its limited physical body and access deeper states of enlightenment and ultimately experience union with the divine consciousness called Samadhi. Many limitations constrain man in his physical body. There is a necessity to keep the body well nourished through food and water. The physical body must also have warm clothes to survive the freezing temperatures, or it will cease to function properly. Similarly, the human body can become susceptible to many diseases and illnesses, and for an individual to survive, adequate access to a cure is mandatory. But as far as consciousness or spirit is concerned, it's as free as anything can ever be. It knows no bounds, and it is ever expanding. Our soul resides at the elevations of serenity and freedom incomprehensible to the human mind. But one doesn't have to die to experience the wholeness of its being and communing with the divine. Many yogis and spiritual masters have attained those levels of higher consciousness even while being confined in their material body. And breath control has been an integral part of that process. You have been breathing all your life, yet you still don't know how important it is or how you may use it to your best advantage to live a truly extraordinary life. But everything is about to change for you with this video, as we are about to explore the power of breath and how you can potentially transform your reality by just improving the way you breathe. So let's discover the mysteries of our breath together and how we may leverage this marvel to attain our most ambitious goals. Breathing is the foundation of life, and everything or every other concern is secondary when compared to the vital, life-giving process of breathing. However, as human life is dependent on breathing, man's vitality and spiritual expansion are also dependent on learning the correct way to breathe. An infant draws in long inhales that extend all the way to his diaphragm. It does so to extract all the life-giving nutrients of the air it's taking in, and that is how a person is supposed to breathe anyway. But as the child grows up, he loses this natural way of breathing as the mind becomes occupied in other pursuits that seem more pressing, yet are just illusions to keep one's mind busy. No pursuit is as important as breathing properly, because breath is the current through which prana, or life force, flows through our body. Therefore, pranayama is known as the act of breath extension necessary for nourishing and stabilizing the physical and energetic body. Some offer their outflowing breath into the breath that flows in, and the inflowing breath into the breath that flows out. They aim at pranayama, breath harmony, and the flow of their breath is in peace. The Bhagavad Gita, prana is the vital energy of our body that flows through the 72,000 nadis, or channels, to revitalize every cell and rejuvenate our spirit. These 72,000 nadis spring from 3 major nadis called the Ida, Pingala, and Sushumna. The Sushumna Nadi is the central channel that must be balanced through breathing for you to feel healthy and live your most authentic life. The human body is nothing but a mere conduit of this vital life force, also called qi in traditional Chinese philosophy. Without this force of breath, there would be nothing on the material plane. The physical body is a manifestation of our prana, and for our physical body to be truly nourished, there must be a free flow of energy within all its channels all the time. Just like water must flow freely down a stream for the health and longevity of the stream. The moment there is a stagnation of water at some part of the stream, the entire flow is obstructed. If this obstruction is not dealt with in a timely manner, the stagnant water turns from a live, enriching marvel to a portrait of death and decay. Similarly, when we don't breathe correctly or crowd our minds with too many thoughts, a blockage or stagnation of energies occurs in one or many parts of the body. This blockage not only keeps us from reaching our highest potential, but also makes us susceptible to psychological and physical ailments. The improper breathing leads to a slouched posture with a contracted chest and stooping shoulders. Unfortunately, this is how most of us in the civilized world breathe. Breathing properly is the very last of our concerns. Therefore, we never devote our attention or energies to fixing this problem. It can also be argued that this tendency is one of the many reasons for the higher levels of disease and mental problems in the civilized world. The animals and even the humans living out in nature tend to breathe the right way naturally. It's not something that has to be learnt, but one that comes as an innate intelligence. However, as man moves away from nature and becomes consumed by material desires, he abandons this innate gift. He pays the heavy price in terms of an unfulfilling life marred by physical and psychological issues. All your physical problems, no matter how serious they are, can be fixed if you make an intention to breathe the correct way from this moment onwards. The human body is incredibly intelligent and a master at self-healing, but only if we give it the right environment to do so, by breathing correctly. The most important lesson yogis have imparted through their works is for us to realize the importance of nostril breathing. Most of us have grown accustomed to the habit of mouth breathing, and it is the habit that has done us the most damage physically and psychologically. Though we have been equipped by nature to either breathe through the mouth or the nose, the latter is the correct way of breathing that brings the body and mind the sustenance they need to escape disease and decline. Whenever we breathe through the mouth, we are open to contracting contagious respiratory diseases, as the nostrils are the proper channel through which our body should provide fresh and purified air to the lungs. Mouth breathing also leads to an agitated and clouded mind, poor sleep, and lack of concentration. These small impacts seem trivial in the moment, but over the years, the habit of mouth breathing takes the person to a path of self-destruction physically and spiritually. Nose breathing, on the other hand, brings about a sense of tranquility in mind and body, often leading to the activation of the parasympathetic nervous system, which is the rest and digest state of the body. The body tends to its needs and repairs itself in this state to function efficiently. In the yogic art of breath control, alternate nostril breathing, or Nadi Shodhana, holds immense importance. This technique instantly regulates the nervous system, lowers blood pressure, and tones down feelings of fear and anxiety. Alternate nostril breathing also helps you breathe properly, assisting you in self-inculcating the powerful habit of nostril breathing. Scientific research has demonstrated that people who indulge in the alternate nostril breathing technique for about a month have healthier lung muscles and a lower risk of respiratory diseases. These are just the physical benefits of Nadi Shodhana. The other aspect of this sacred breathing practice is improved self-awareness and spiritual transcendence, both of which can lead you to your desired reality. To practice alternate nostril breathing, find a quiet place and sit down in a comfortable yet upright position. Bring your right hand up to your face and place its thumbs on your right nostril. You may gently press against the right nostril to fully cover it. Next, close your eyes and take a long yet slow inhale through your other nostril, the left one. Close both nostrils for a moment with the help of your fingers, and then exhale out of the left nostril. The idea is simply to breathe through one nostril while the other is covered. Then cover both nostrils after inhaling, and finally exhale through the second nostril. Next time, inhale from the right while covering the left and exhale through the right. That is how you alternate nostrils for each new breath, hence the name of the technique. You can keep doing the alternate nostril breathing for a few minutes, or until you start feeling a sense of calmness engulfing your body and mind. The most important understanding in this explorative excursion of breathing is the realization of the fact that man is not his physical body, but a fragment of divine consciousness. You are not limited to this body, to this mind, or to this reality. You are a limitless ocean of consciousness, imbued with infinite potential. You are existence itself. Joseph P. Kaufman. That is the true nature of man. And because we are all a part of infinite consciousness, we all possess the incredible powers that the divine possesses. But because of our focus on the material and our low vibrational energy states, we are unable to unify with the divine energy. The word Samadhi comes from Sanskrit, where sama means equanimity and di refers to the intellect. When an individual achieves a heightened state of consciousness, by aptly sharpening his intellectual capabilities, he is said to have attained the state of Samadhi, or union, with the divine consciousness. At this level of consciousness, the person breaks free from the perceived limitations of the 3D realm and ascends to acquire its rightful place as the creator of his reality. The yogis of ancient India first talked about the concept of samadhi as a heightened state of awareness around 2,000 years ago. While the Western world perceives yoga as a mere physical exercise, it's rather a deep mental immersion that binds the body and mind. Performing yoga asanas or yoga poses is just one of the 8 limbs of yoga written about in the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali. The other 7 limbs of yoga, as classified in the Yoga Sutras, are yamas or the abstinences, niyama or the observances, pranayama or breathing, pratyahara or withdrawal, dana or concentration, dhyana or meditation, and finally samadhi or the absorption. Samadhi, as the name suggests, is deep contemplation in a meditative state, which leads to a non-dualistic state of consciousness. Once you have tasted this heightened awareness, you cannot settle for living life in a limited way. Here is a breathing technique to help you experience samadhi in your everyday life. First, as you sit down with your eyes closed, unwind your mind and senses from all the clutter by focusing on your breathing for a few minutes. Think of your breath as an anchor that will help you readjust your focus every time you go off the path during the practice. Simply observe your breath at this point without trying to change or influence it in any way. Simply be an observer of how breath comes into your body and how it leaves the body. In a few moments of this observation, you will sense a shift in your awareness as your focus becomes sharper. Then, take a slow, long and gentle inhale. Next, exhale all the air out of your body the same way, and at the end of the exhalation, freeze yourself in the position by becoming as still as you can become. Do this only for 5 seconds. Then slowly begin inhaling again, and this time with all the breath inside you, sit still for a few seconds and try becoming the silent witness of what's going on inside you. Hold the breath in for as long as you comfortably can, and then exhale. Regulate the holding of inhales and exhales according to your capacity. But every time during the hold, try your best to be as still as possible so you merge with your higher self. You can practice this technique once a day, and with more practice, you will get better at holding your breath, and you will notice a sense of equanimity in your everyday functioning. To become a master of your own reality, you must know how to stay in the present moment, for the present moment is where everything takes place. Time is an illusion, a human construct designed to help us make sense of the world. But as we move to higher dimensions, we find that there is no concept of time at all. Your limited mind may categorize the events of your life into past and present, but the truth is that everything is happening simultaneously right now. So, in order to take charge of your reality, life and circumstances, you must be well grounded in the present moment. For people who are present and aware, manifestations happen instantaneously and without much effort. How you breathe has a lot to do with how much of your waking hours you spend in the present moment or how much time you waste in rumination. Rumination is when the brain keeps indulging in negative thoughts in a loop, and that leads to severe mental anguish, which can later turn into physical symptoms. Deep breathing practices that involve the movement of the diaphragm not only help regulate bodily functions, but also keep the mind calm and away from rumination. Most people, however, are chest breathers, which can also be called shallow breathing. Chest breathing results in a contraction of neck muscles, which may also trigger the fight or flight response. When this mechanism is activated within the organism, the brain is flooded with emotions of fear and anxiety. Hence, the body cannot perform its vital functions needed for repair and optimal functioning. Emotions of fear and anxiety also keep you from taking charge of your reality, as you are totally immersed in thinking about survival. Belly breathing, on the other hand, is when you breathe in all the way to your stomach every time. This slow and sustained breathing pattern turns on the parasympathetic nervous system, which shuts off the stress response and makes the body feel safe in its immediate environment. Once the body feels safe, the mind can then be used to access higher states of consciousness and manifest desires by imprinting one's intentions into the subconscious. Remember, your reality is a result of the way you have been thinking and living unconsciously over the years. If you don't like how it's unfolding, then becoming conscious of your breath should be the first step, and the 3 techniques we just discussed will be your most helpful guides on this voyage of self-mastery. So which of these breathing techniques resonated the most with you, and which one will you start using to shift your reality from this moment onwards?